Hey viewers, check it out. I bought this little guitar practice amp at a flea market, pretty cheap. Yeah, I would do other stuff besides bikes. And when I got home, plugged it in, found that the controls are kind of noisy. Like that's the volume there. So I'm going to show you how to fix noisy controls on like a guitar amp like this. First, let me explain how these little controls work. There's something called a potentiometer. What there is in there is there's like a little semicircle of resistance material, and there's a little metal finger that rotates and slides along that little ring as you turn the knob. And that little ring of stuff gets dirty, and then the little finger doesn't make good contact, and you end up with crackling noises and dropouts when it hits dirty spots. So what we need to do is clean out the inside of the little potentiometers, kind of get rid of that dirt, and also lube it up a little bit so that the things move nice and smoothly, and then they should be nice and quiet. Okay, so now to clean the inside of these pots here, I need like a control contact cleaner. In the past, I've used control contact cleaner and lubricant from Radio Shack. But my can's empty because I used it on so many different things, and unfortunately all the Radio Shacks have closed. I think you can still order it online, I'm not sure. There's the number if you want to try. But I decided to go ahead and try something else. There were a lot of recommendations for this, something called DeoxIT. A lot of people were using DeoxIT D5, which I think is meant more for like switches and things, but I found this DeoxIT Fader F5, which from what I was reading, it seems to be more purposely intended for controls like this. So I went ahead and ordered a can of this. I'm going to go ahead and give this a shot. Now the tricky part to using the spray is to get it into the potentiometer. There is one way that you can pull the knob off and try to spray down in around the post down into the device. They actually make something that fits over this that you spray in and forces the spray down inside. Unfortunately, I don't have one of those, so I'm going to use the method I always have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this little amplifier part out of the box here. If you do that, make sure the thing is unplugged when you do this. There's like two little wires here attaching to the speaker. I'm going to go ahead and just pull those off like that. Okay, so on this amplifier, there's 4 screws holding this little amplifier part into the box. I'm going to remove these screws. Now this may vary depending on your particular amplifier. There might be on the side or someplace else, but there's usually something, and you can usually figure out where they're at. Just go ahead and remove those so that you can slide this amplifier out of the box. And after I've removed those screws, I can go ahead and just slide this out like this. And so now you can see the back side of the potentiometers in there. Now when you finally have access to the back of the pot, you're going to look for something, some sort of avenue to get the spray in here. And there's usually like some little holes like somewhere on the back of the potentiometer. And so these have these little things in here, and they're open into the insides of the pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray in there. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and spray some of this into this little hole there and try to get some inside there as best I can. And then after I do, I'm going to go ahead and work the control back and forth all the way from one side to the other. And that should hopefully help free the stuff up there, clean it off a little bit. And then I'm going to spray just a little bit more in there like that. And I'm going to do that for each of the pots on here. Now after you've sprayed it in, you probably got a little bit of extra stuff over there. Go ahead and give us some time to kind of evaporate and dry. And one benefit that you also might notice is that the dials here, the controls are moving much more smoothly and freely than they were before. Now I'm just going to reinstall this back into the box, the same, basically the opposite way of how I pulled it out. Just slide it in there and start installing these screws to hold it in place. I'm going to reattach the speaker wires back to the same way they were before. Like that. Okay, let's go ahead and give it a shot. Nice and quiet. And they're turning much smoother now. And so it's just that easy. If they're still a little bit noisy when you turn them, go ahead, take it out, spray more stuff in, clean it out a little bit more, and so usually that will do the trick. Anyway, hopefully you found this useful or interesting. If you did, please give my video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to my channel, click the subscribe button. Be sure to click the little bell so you get notified of new videos that come out. I'm always coming out with new videos. I'm over on Facebook, RJ the Bike Guy. Go over there, like that page. I post mostly bike stuff, but other stuff as well. And I have a webpage, rjthebikeguy.com. Go check that out as well.